Good morning, everybody, and welcome to IGTV. With us this morning, William H. Murray, the INFRAGARD editorial, and Bill is going to be talking about the perfect keylogger POS systems. Go ahead, Bill. I'm listening with interest.
One of the advantages of being a registered INFRAGARD member is access to the FBI intelligence bulletins. These are intended for us, law enforcement and information assurance professionals. Increasingly, they deal with information technology. We need to check them, read them, and know how to use them. Many are simply cautionary. For example, two recent ones dealing with EMV cards, chip and pin, and RDC, remote deposit capture, warned of anticipated increases in fraud activity as these two technologies become more widely deployed. While we need to anticipate fraud with these technologies, we should expect a net decrease in fraud because of these technologies. We're moving to EMV because it is lower risk than magstripe. Much of the risk in the use of EMV will be related to backwards compatibility to magstripe. Risks associated with RDC are already built into the check processing system, and it is upon this system that we will rely for security in remote deposit capture. Unfortunately, by design, the bulletins are usually less than a page in length, including necessary boilerplate, disclaimers, and cautions. They rarely provide enough information to suggest what preventative or mitigative actions one should undertake. Some have to be parsed very carefully. I suggest some independent follow-up research. One, dated 10 May 2012, was entitled "Perfect Keylogger Compromises U.S. Businesses' Point-of-Sale Devices to Steal Credit Card Information." This one is more descriptive than simply cautionary. Perfect Keylogger is a product commercially available from Blazing Tools. Perfect is part of the name of the product, not a description of it. Like many such tools, it's equally useful to users, managers, auditors, and criminals. It's designed to capture all user-keyed input to a Windows system. Yes, there's also a version available for Mac OS X. A system on which it is installed and make that input available to the logger operator. The operator of the keystroke logger may be the legitimate user of the system or his management. However, the operation of the logger is so quiet that if covertly installed, it can be remotely operated and used by rogues or criminals to capture user input, including user credentials, without suggesting its presence to the user. What caught my eye in the title was "Compromises Point-of-Sale Devices to Steal Credit Card Information." One might infer from this that it compromised the point-of-sale device, where the magstripe and pin are captured. One might infer that it was this information that was captured. Such an inference might lead one to believe that in addition to the credit card number, an attacker might also capture the PIN and be able to counterfeit cards for use at an ATM. One might easily infer all of this from the title, but fortunately for us, none of it's true. First, let's deal with Perfect. There's nothing special about Perfect among keyloggers, with the possible exception of the fact that it's commercially available for $35. Some loggers are free, but some of the most popular, like Zeus, SpyEye, and the new popular Citadel, command high prices on the gray market. Indeed, there's nothing particularly special about keystroke loggers. If the device is compromised, it can be exploited using a variety of malware. Perfect is just popular. Second, while the compromised devices are part of the payment card system, they are not literally point-of-sale devices, those that sit on the counter where you swipe your card. They are often the servers, the store controllers, to which the point-of-sale devices are attached. However, they may be application systems that process payment card data. Third, it's not the keystroke logger that compromises the device. The keystroke logger is what is installed on the compromised device. Most of these devices are not being compromised by any malware. They are compromised by the failure to replace default passwords with strong ones. A few may be compromised by taking bait while using them for other applications, such as email or web browser. In any case, Perfect did not do it. Now, incidentally, the use of the system for applications other than payment card processing is part of the problem. That's why the level 4 merchant that Lamar talks about are a problem. They're a problem because they use one system for all kinds of things. Now, I'm sure by this time some of you are already thinking, there goes Murray with his Jesuitical nitpicking again. Perhaps. But if we are to deal with this intelligence, it is important to understand what it is really trying to tell us. It's important to know what device is really being compromised and how. When I read the FBI report on Perfect, I asked my colleagues how it got on the compromised system. After a little teasing, because I had forgotten something that was so obvious, they referred me to the Verizon Data Breach Intelligence Report, the DBIR. Of course, while we are lucky to have the FBI intelligence, we are even luckier to have additional sources to help us understand what the FBI is trying to tell us. In addition to the DBIR, my desktop also has copies of the IBM X-Force Trend and Risk Report, the TrustWave Global Security Report, the Sophos Security Threat Report, and the Symantec Internet Security Report. Also includes the Verizon Weekly Intelligence Summary and others. One might think that the FBI reports are more objective than those from providers of products and services. While these vendors clearly want you to buy their products and services, and while this may influence the content of their reports, that is what they cover, if there is influence on the objectivity of their reports, I cannot detect it. It would be nice if one of these reports was sufficient for all of our needs, but of course that is simply too much to hope for. I have one other wish from all of these reports. Threats have both sources and rates. One of the things that these intelligence reports do is speculate a lot about the sources. To tell me that the source is criminals doesn't tell me a whole lot. To tell me that it is China doesn't tell me a whole lot. I would also like some information about the rates. How many instances of Perfect have been detected out there? And what kind of an indicator for me is the existence of Perfect? Now, I understand that writing intelligence reports is difficult. Knowledge and skill are necessary, but not sufficient. One must also be cautious, not to say scrupulous. Those of us who write and use these reports must be knowledgeable and skilled, lest we reach wrong conclusions about what is or what is being said, and take ineffective or inefficient preventative or remedial action. Of course, that is why we are called professionals and are paid the big bucks.